Years passed, and Ban Zhao grew from that brilliant young girl into a refined and educated woman. As was the custom, she married at a young age, but she never abandoned her books. Her life could have remained quiet, a story of domesticity and scholarly pursuit, but a storm was brewing on the horizon, one that would strike not just the empire, but her own family. Her elder brother, Ban Zhao, had become one of the greatest scholars of the Han dynasty. He worked tirelessly, day and night, to continue their father's magnum opus, the monumental historical text known as the Book of Han. But in the corridors of power, brilliance often attracts jealousy like a magnet. Political tensions at the imperial court finally exploded. In the chaos, Ban Zhao was accused falsely of altering imperial documents. It was a baseless charge, but a devastating one. In the blink of an eye, the Ban family's greatest pride became its greatest tragedy. Ban Zhao was arrested and thrown into prison. His vast collection of scrolls, the culmination of years of meticulous work, was confiscated. Rumors spread through the capital like wildfire. People whispered on street corners and in tea houses, "The Ban family is finished. Their legacy ends here." It seemed their name would be erased from the annals of history, remembered only in disgrace. But one night, far from the capital's intrigue, Ban Zhao lit a small lamp in her quiet home. She had managed to get her hands on some of her brother's damaged manuscripts. She unfurled them one by one. Her hands trembled as she traced the familiar characters, her eyes burning with unshed tears as she saw the state of the scrolls torn, incomplete, abandoned. This was not just Ban Zhao's life's work. This was their father's dream. This was their family's honor. This was the history of their entire dynasty hanging in the balance. And in the flickering lamplight, she whispered into the darkness a promise to her imprisoned brother. "If the world abandons you, brother, I will not." Fueled by a fierce determination, Ban Zhao made a decision that would defy every convention of her time. She traveled to the capital. In an age where women were confined to the inner chambers, the idea of a woman stepping into the hallowed, male-dominated world of the imperial archives was simply unheard of. Yet, she stood before the court scholars, her voice clear and steady, and made her declaration. "These manuscripts," she said, gesturing to her brother's confiscated work, "are incomplete. If no one finishes them, our history will remain broken." The officials scoffed. A few laughed outright. What could you, a woman, possibly know about history and statecraft? One of them sneered. They saw her as nothing more than a desperate sister, driven by emotion, not intellect. But they decided to test her, perhaps to humor her, or perhaps to humiliate her and send her away. They brought out scroll after scroll, posing complex questions about genealogy, state rituals, and military campaigns. Question after question, they tried to trip her up, and with each one, Ban Zhao answered with the calm precision and deep knowledge of a master historian. She didn't just answer, she elaborated, corrected their own minor errors, and cited sources they had forgotten. A stunned silence fell over the chamber. The men who had mocked her now looked at one another in disbelief. They had expected a novice. They found a peer, if not a superior. Finally, a senior minister, his voice filled with awe, broke the silence. "Her knowledge," he announced to the room, "surpasses that of most men here. Let her complete the Book of Han." And just like that, the impossible happened. Ban Zhao, a married woman in her 20s, with no official title, living in a world where women's voices were systematically silenced, stepped across the threshold of the imperial library. It was a place where few women had ever been allowed, let alone permitted to work. There, surrounded by endless shelves of bamboo slips, holding the memory of an empire, she picked up her father's ink and her brother's brush, and for the first time, her own name, quietly but indelibly, became a part of history. Join us next time for Part 3, where Ban Zhao not only completes the monumental Book of Han, but also rises to become the imperial tutor woman, whose wisdom would guide the empress and the daughters of emperors, shaping the future of the Han dynasty. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the next chapter of this incredible story.